Hi, this is Miss RX Geek here, and today I'm going to give you some awesome tips on studying and how to be successful as a student, whether you're in university, college, or even high school. Stay tuned for more. So over the years, many people have asked me, how do you do it? How are you able to achieve academic excellence, be involved in extracurricular activities, and also leadership? And trust me, it's been a process. I've had to learn through high school, through undergrad, and even grad school, just what were the perfect study methods for me. For every individual, it's different, but I feel once you know what truly works for you, success is going to come your way. Number one, record the lecturer. I find recording extremely valuable. I feel it's worth it to just invest in a good quality recorder and record your professors or your teachers teaching, because you'd be surprised, a lot of things that they do teach in class and say in class are usually tested in exams. And for me, when I'm taking notes in class, I can't possibly get everything that they say. You know, we're only human, we're not perfect. So I find recording extremely helpful in getting those small details I may have missed in class. Now, the downside to recording is that it does kind of lengthen your study time. It does take time to re-listen to lectures, especially if a lecture is over 40 minutes long. So that's just something to keep in mind. But if you feel you have a hard time catching up with what a professor says in class, re-listening and recording lectures is perfect. Number two, I would say form a group with students that you trust, and all of you together take notes on the computer while in class. I saw some students do this when I was an undergrad, and I thought it was absolutely genius. So what they do is there's a couple of students who obviously trust each other, and they all take notes in class. Now at the end, they all combine their notes, so you pretty much have this super set of notes where there might be something that one student caught that you didn't catch. And so everything all goes in one. And the benefit of this is that you don't have to record lectures, because most likely everything that the professor or teacher said was caught and it will be recorded in the notes. So this is very helpful if there's a day you might be sick. At least you know that you have a good set of notes waiting for you, and you'll be prepared for that material on the exam. Number three, print out notes instead of studying notes on the computer. So I've tried this multiple times. I've tried studying from notes on the computer using OneNote, or studying from just physical notes that I print out, and I've noticed consistently I have always done better on tests that I actually printed out the notes and was able to highlight and write extra notes on the side. Studying from the computer is it's very hurtful to my eyes, and I feel like I get distracted when I'm on the computer. So I feel personally, if you're like me, it's probably easier to just print out the notes and study from those. The computer can be very distractive. Jeez, can't speak today. And also just very hurtful to the eyes. Number four, give yourself a week prior to your exam date to prepare for an exam. This was a general rule of thumb I used, and part of being successful as a student is being very organized. So what I would do is I'd get my planner, and if there was an exam on a particular day, I'd mark it down and then move back 7 days and mark then that I should start reviewing and studying for this exam. Now, this was just a general rule of thumb I used. If there was a class I felt I didn't necessarily need a whole week to study for, and I felt like I was doing well in that class, I'd usually leave maybe like 3 days prior to the exam to study very hard for it. Or if it was a class that was a bit more difficult, such as physics, for instance, for me in undergrad, I'd give myself about just over a week, so about a week and a half prior to the exam date, just to give myself some time to really immerse and get into the material. And if there was something I didn't understand, I could get some help. If there's something that you did not understand that a teacher taught in class, it's important to not leave the class until you understand it. So after a class or a lecture, if there was some kind of concept I didn't understand, I'd always go see the professor immediately, or if they couldn't talk to me, set up an appointment just to make sure I understood it. Because trust me, you don't want to be studying the night before and there's a concept you don't understand, and then you're automatically regretting not getting help and trying to understand it. Because once you walk into that exam, you're not going to be confident. Number six, Most professors and teachers do use PowerPoints for their notes. I recommend if a professor does use PowerPoint, print out the PowerPoint slides. I find it very hard to study just looking at a PowerPoint document. What I do is I print out about 4 to 6 slides per sheet. I ensure that I print by the number of pages, so like 4 to 6 pages per sheet, so that the font is clear and the writing is clear. And I find that easier to just kind of connect the dots between some information on certain slides. And it's just easier to look at rather than just studying it from a computer. So definitely, if you have a PowerPoint slide as notes, print it out. So number 7, it's important the day before an exam, you're only reviewing the material. You should not be learning anything new a day before the exam. Reason I say this is because it will only leave you anxious and you will not go into that exam confident the following day. So I always set a goal for myself to try to review all the new material, all the material way prior to the exam. Now this leads to number 9 for me. Sorry, number 8. That try to form like a study group where you all review the material, you discuss the material, and ask each other questions. Because the best way to truly know if you understand the material is by asking questions and answering questions. And I feel that's helped me tremendously, especially for studying. And last but not least, if you struggle with memorization, use flashcards. Flashcards have helped me so much. One of the, especially in pharmacy school, there's so much memorization to know because there's so many drugs out there. And so there was actually one class, oncology, that flashcards helped me tremendously. There was a lot of adverse drug reactions or side effects we had to know about different cancer drugs. And I found that the flashcards really helped me memorize and study and learn. And it was also fun just looking at flashcards. So I highly recommend if you struggle with memorization, flashcards are key. So that is all the study tips I have for today. If you have any other study tips that you felt were very helpful, comment down below and I would love to see them. And I'm pretty sure other people viewing this video would love to see your advice as well. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please make sure you hit it, and please like the video if you like it, and I'll see you in the next one.